What's up people, and welcome back to the HTACHALLENGE Challenge episode 4. You're here with Chris Beatty and I'm in the outdoors, alright? I thought I'd try and spice things up a little bit, get out in the sun. I'm in the most isolated place you could ever be. I'm out in the wilderness, I'm out in the middle of a field. This is actually one of those spots that I used to trek at when I was younger. So I did a wee trek to a classic spot where I used to train at. So I just got a new microphone. It's got a little wind muffly thing on top of it. So I thought, why don't I go outside and test the new microphone out, see if it sounds all crazy or is it noise? Unfortunately, the microphone was not working because I actually needed the little batteries to go in a secret compartment in it that I never realised. I thought that the wire connecting it into the camera would power it as well. So, sorry guys, it's a bit windy, the footage doesn't sound the best, but next video will be a lot better. So in the meantime, enjoy the episode. I thank y'all. In this episode we have a special guest. Sam Eccles, another one of the coaches at HTACHALLENGE, is going to help me with the conditioning challenge, so that's on him. I know he's cooking up some ideas. So the second half of the video, we're taking over from Sam Eccles, so let's see what he's got. So I hope you're ready to warm up and let's get to it. Track and field. The trick challenge of the week is machine. What is a machine? Machinery? We're tricking not using machines. Well, it's also called a B-boy scoot, and I'm going to give you a little show of what it looks like, and then we'll get into how you use it, what can you use it for, and why is it cool, okay? So the machine is also known as the B-boy scoot. It's often used in breakdance to go down into coin drops or into flares, windmills, all those kind of things, you know, in the 1990s. But as trickers have used it to do tricking moves out of it, you know, like toe twists, cheat kicks, loads of different stuff. Handstands are important, being strong with like frog stands, anything where you use your shoulders, handstand against the wall, cartwheels, all that kind of stuff's going to help you. So make sure you warm up with some wrist stretching and some handstands and stuff like that just to kind of get loosened off, okay? So we're going to take it into a few steps now. Let's get into it. We're going to be performing the machine to the left. I'm a left side twister, okay? So we're going to be taking off our right foot and lifting our left foot up every time. So if you do this off of your left foot by accident, you're going to end up doing cartwheels, and that's a common thing people do wrong, okay? So the first thing we're going to do is stand up, right? You're going to have your right foot in front, and what we're going to do is practice a handstand. We lift our left foot up, switch the legs, and land back on our left foot. Up, left foot, back down. Left foot up, switch, back to the start. Now we're going to add in the half step, right? So 180 degree step. So you're going to have your hands across, like this. You're going to move the hands, step your right foot, this one, over, as if you're going to do like a tornado kick. And then the hands are going out, same thing again, left foot up, squat, and back down. Step to the left. Left foot, remember, up, switch feet, and then come back down. We want to remember that we're not moving and lifting our right foot up. If you do that, cartwheel. Right? That can be really frustrating for people. So, we always want to remember, left foot always comes up. Okay? I'm going to show you from the back, so if you're facing forwards, here, step to the left, left foot. Step to the left, left foot. Right now we're only doing half of the movement. We want to finish facing where we started from, so we're going to tweak our feet a little bit and change where our hands are going to go down, okay? So, instead of just stepping half in, where our feet are facing straight, we want this right foot to actually turn in the way, more than it had to before, and that's going to make it straight on, because we want our hands to actually go straight this way. And switch, okay? Step in more than you have to. put your hands like this, and then you want to replace where this foot was, is where you want your hands to go. So you're going to go to the front now, so we're facing this way. It's going to naturally want to turn you a little bit extra at the end. Now your goal is to try and get your hands right round to replace where that foot was, okay? You want to bring it right round. You're going to create more of like a pizza, like a spinning disc. See if you were spinning a pizza on my finger or a plate or something, you want that kind of momentum with this machine. You want it to be really circularly and fun, okay? So the first time we did it, hands were here, then we did here. Now we're trying to actually wind up a little bit more, put our hands facing this way, okay? Got like a spinning top there. And then it's whooshy. So we're going to try and turn our shoulder a little bit more, try and finish back where we started from this time. Just like that. There's a little worm friend here. Okay, I don't want to land on you, my friend, so I'm going to put you somewhere else. That was a close one. Once you get a little bit more comfortable with that, you can spend longer on the first hand and then longer on the second hand. Then you can start letting your right hand go at the end for extra style points. The cool thing about the machine is that it finishes the way that it starts, so you can do 2, 3, 4, a jillion, a billion in a row, and you can just keep going forever, okay? So let's try that. So we're going to do our first machine. And right at the end, you'll notice that my foot comes down left, right, okay? Left, right. So from here, all you have to do is think, ah, that's the same as when I stepped in normally at the start. Left, right. So all we're going to do is when we come down, we're going to replant the hands and lift the left foot again. So step in. Try and land on that left foot, stick it, just like we did last week with the butterfly kicks, okay? So we're going to stick it, and then once you're here, you're just going to think, well, if I just put my right foot back down again, lift my left foot back up, I can do another one, and I can stick it, step back across, to the butt out. To infinity and beyond. Give it a try. Hopefully you know how to do a machine now. Now we're going to think, what can we do with the machine? Well, because your machine lands and takes off in the same way, that means you can do machines back to back. What's that you said? Tornado kick looks a lot similar to how a machine lands. Yes, you're correct. So we did scoot to tornado kick before. Now we're going to do tornado kick into the machine. The way the tornado kick finishes is literally the same as the machine starts. If you try and stick one, you'll notice it's just the same as when we did the machine. So we're going to tornado, stick, put the right foot down and machine our heart out. The best part about that is that you can also machine to tornado kick, because the way the machine finishes is the same way the tornado kick starts. So let's try tornado, machine to tornado. Then do them forever. Quick tip for that, when you do your machine, all you have to do is lift your left knee up, spot your target in front of you, jump and switch. When you finish here, lift your left foot back up, spot your target, tornado. Finish the machine, pick the foot back up, kick, kick there again, pick the foot up, just like that. If you haven't guessed it by now, it's scoot to machine. So the scoot finishes the same way the machine starts. But then you're thinking, but Chris, I want to go from my machine into my scoot and do that for infinity. Is that possible? Is that possible? Yes it is. So we're going to do a machine. This old boy, woo, is going to land down on the scoot. Machine. Ooh, he's in the scoot. So to do this one, you have to machine and think about landing strong on the right leg and dropping the left knee down, okay? So right at that last minute when your left foot's going to touch, no, through the knee. Woo. Now we can do it for infinity. Now we're going to try all three of those and try and scale them up and down for a bit of fun. So scoot, machine, tornado, machine, scoot, machine, tornado, machine, for infinity. Let's give that a try. That's actually really fun. So it's come to my attention that since I filmed the intro, some weird effects been put in all the clips. So I'm hoping it looks cool. We'll find out when we get back to the studio, to the editing room. Yeah, so we'll see how that is. And you don't always have to do the machine from stepping in. You can do it from a dead stop or flips that just stop on the spot. So let's get that a try. All right, let's go. So you want to start out just here. You're going to take a step across. Oh, as if you're going to do like an aerial or something, alright? So you're going to step, bam, like that, and all you have to do is torque and just move the legs straight away. Just like that, alright? So a good way to practice this is just do a jump. So a little jump, so you're out, right? So you're here, jump, out a little bit, and then swang it. So you've got to use the balls of your feet to spin. Now we'll try with a tuck jump. Try a backflip into it. So any move that you land on 2 feet, really, you can do into this. You could do a Valdez as well, as a basic one. So you can just pop it out. Give that one a try. You also don't need to come into this move off of 2 feet all the time. If you can do a 540 kick, a hyper full, butterfly kick, anything where you're landing on your right leg, you can just carry through and do the machine from that. So the first thing we can do, swing 540. And all you have to do is keep your chest down and whack off one leg. So you would have your foot out, swing over the top looking at the ground, stick it like that, and then away you go. So for all you butterfly kickers out there, I want to see it. Any trick that really comes down from a spin or anything you can do with this. You can backside 9 into it, you could do a cork, you could B-twist. As I said earlier, this is also known as the B-boy scoot. So you can do swing tricks out of it as well. You don't always have to come off 2 feet, you know. You can do machine swing gainer, swing cork, swing jackknife, swing 720 kick, swing 9. You know, there's loads of different tricks that you can do with a swing. So in conclusion, try and do the machine back to back. Try and use it with the tornado kick and the scoot, and any other tricks that you think you can do with it. If you're an advanced tricker, bust out some really cool stuff. I want to see how you use it. My injured knee is feeling a little bit weak today, but I'm going to try and use the machine in some fun ways. But all you healthy people out there, I want to see what you've got. So remember, tag me on Instagram, HTACHALLENGE, @CrispyD, all the stuff. You know what to do. I'm going to do some machines. Let's get it. Wah! Oh, almost slipped. That was fun actually. My knee held up better than it has in a long time, so did a few tricks, had some fun, and now it's on to Sam for the conditioning challenge. Let's go.
Okay, so I'm going to be taking you through the conditioning for this week. The exercise we're going to be doing is called the Y balance test, or at least we're going to be doing an adaptation of it. So we're going to get into it. Okay, so first part of the exercise is going to be balancing on one leg. Make sure the foot is on the floor, make sure it's completely flat, don't have your heel up in the air. So the foot is in the air. First off, what we're going to do is we're going to reach in front of us and you're going to tap the ground. You're not going to tap right in front of you, you're going to try and reach out, keeping this leg flat, or the foot flat, and then trying to see how far away you can tap the ground, okay? Just make sure you're not putting a lot of weight on this foot. All you're going to do is just tap like this. So it's basically in there the whole time. We'll start in front, just here, tap. Then we're going to go to the side. Again, reach as far as you can. Then we're going to go straight behind you, tap. And then back and across to this side, tap. Okay? So you got one leg, then we'll do the other foot. Same thing. Tap in front, tap the side, straight back, and across, and try and keep your balance as best as you can. Second step of this exercise, we're going to be doing the same thing, but instead of doing the taps quite fast and coming back, we're going to be holding them at each point. So start in front. This time you're going to hold it at the first point, and you want to think about trying to do it not for like so many seconds, but trying to do it for so many breaths. So we'll start off with say a few breaths. You can do like 2, 3 or 5. Just try and make sure you're breathing through your nose, not through your mouth. You might find it harder, but it's going to make your breathing more efficient. So have your foot out, hold here. I'm just trying to breathe, just hold it where you are. I'm just trying to get comfortable in this spot. Okay, and then again you just do the same thing, going back to the sides and so on. Okay, so for the third part of the exercise, we're going to talk about some variations you can do with this. So we've kind of covered the base of the exercise already. So first variation we can do, we can start about thinking about what we're doing with the foot that we're standing on. So normally we have this foot flat on the ground. First thing we can do to make it a bit harder is lift the heel up, and you'll notice that if you're balancing just on its own, it's already a wee bit harder. So when you add in the taps in every direction, it's going to make the exercise much more about balancing and really good for strength. So that's your first one. Next one, when your foot's flat on the ground, what you can think about doing is rolling your ankles slightly onto the outside or rolling it onto the inside as well. So this will be quite a unnatural position to balance in. But it's good to get some strength in this position because it means you'll be, if you do land badly and roll your ankle, if you get an injury from it, the injury is probably not going to be as bad. So it's good to practice balancing in those positions. Just make sure these ones, make sure you're not overdoing them, so go into them really gradually, get used to just balancing like here first. If that gets comfortable, then yeah, you can try and do taps. And you might find that you won't be able to go as far distance wise when you're reaching your leg out, which is fine, but just doing it a wee bit is just good to get some more range of motion and strength in that position as well. So that's the 3 ones you can think about with the leg you're standing on. Okay, so next variation you can think about adding in some weight to the exercise. So I've got a kettlebell here. You can also use like dumbbells if you got them. If you haven't got any weights like that, you can get some really heavy books or get a big bottle of water and fill it up and use that. So first one you can think about doing is just with the weight, just hold it with your hands, hold it in front, above your head, that sort of thing. And again, it doesn't need to be like super heavy, but you should notice that just doing here and reaching to the sides, it should make it a little bit harder. If it's not that hard, then you can also make it a bit heavier if you can. You don't just need to hold it in front. If you want to try stuff like, this works with the kettlebell, might not work with some weights, but if you want to try something more fun, put in your weight and then try and see what you can do here. And that will make it quite a bit more challenging. So that's another one, you can add weight to it. Okay, and the last variation I'll mention for now is just doing it on something elevated from the ground, like adding a little bit of height. The reason I mention this one is that for the next progressions, I'm going to talk about this will help about learning some harder moves I'll talk about in a second. So again, same idea. With this one, it's going to force you to, so you can actually tap the ground, you're going to have to get lower down on that one leg. Okay, so make sure you got something stable to balance on, and then this one's going to be a bit harder, you have to get lower, so you actually tap the ground, and then come back up, and then so on, like that. So obviously the higher you do it, the lower down you're going to have to get to be able to tap the ground as well. So that's another one you can think about. Okay, and the last thing to think about with the variations is that you don't need to do them all separately. If you want, you can also think about combining them together. So you can always add in the weight and then lift your heel up as well, if you want to make it really hard and just play about with it as well. Okay, so last thing we're going to cover is some different moves you can progress into from these exercises. They're basically all going to be different types of like one-legged squats. So before we've been doing standing on one leg, reaching in front, side, back, other side. We're basically going to do a one-legged squat for the front, side, back, and the other side as well. Okay, so for these ones it's best to start doing front and back, get them down, and then you can practice doing the one-legged squats to the sides as well. Okay, so the first one you've got is the pistol squat. So that's leg up in front, trying to get down, back up. Obviously this one's quite hard, so it's something you need to practice over time to get the strength for. You don't get it straight away. One wee thing from last week's video you can add in to help you. Main thing for this is to focus on getting the downward portion. Try and make that really slow and controlled. You might find going up really hard. So what you can do for now is try and roll back a wee bit, and then use that momentum to come up. And as you get better and better, you can like roll less. So if you start right here, just take a small roll, make it slower, and then it's more about your strength than momentum. So yeah, first one you can progress into is your pistol squat, like so. Next one to try is same idea, but you're going to have your leg going straight behind. So for this one you want to think about getting your knee to tap the ground and then coming back up. So again, first one with this is that you can try and, when you go down, instead of just going straight up, you can actually just relax and hold it here, and you can use that back foot to help push up, and you can use that back foot less and less, and you're just going straight up and down. Okay, so for the next two one-legged squats, we're going to try and do the one to the side first. So instead of having your hip turned over, you're probably going to need to turn your hip up to let's get as low as possible and get all the way down. So again, this one's just a matter of leaning to the side, taking it nice and slow, and then balancing. So that one's quite a kind of awkward angle, but just kind of give it a shot in. So you can get to it, and then the last one, we're doing leg around. Just try and get this leg as far around as you can. Then you're going to try and straighten it out. If you want, you can try and hold it here first. Okay, so that, and then eventually you're trying to keep it up and get all the way down to the bottom. So you're here, leg around, and back up. So that one's probably the hardest of the four, so you can kind of progress through all those in one-legged squats. Okay, so yeah, you have the one-legged squats shot if you can. Not very hard, but they're definitely good to learn, good for strength, balance, all that sort of thing. I'm going to show you one more exercise. This one's, I can't even do it, but it's good to know about it, and it's good to give it a try and see if you can get it as well. So this one's called a shrimp squat. It's kind of like the one where you put your leg behind, but the only difference now is that if it's behind, you're going to try and hold like this, and then just when you can let your heel come up if you need to, I think you can have to, and then you're trying to see when you get down. So as you can see, if you're hard, and then obviously don't fall over, but you grab your foot and try and come all the way back up as well. So if you're doing really well, that's another one to try, and then see if you can get it as well. Okay, so if you just get started with the first exercise, and then try and reaching out further, try and hold it for longer. If you get that, you can try and add some variations, and then if you get those as well, then move on to the one-legged squats, and if you get all those, then give the shrimp squat a bash as well. So yeah. Also, if you want to add in combine some variations, put them together, we'd love to see them. So film it, send it in the hashtag HTACHALLENGE. If you try the shrimp squat as well, send us a video of that. I want to see if anybody can get that. That's like a good one to do. Yeah, hope you have fun trying them, and take care.